say f of x equals 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. Now these can get a little bit lengthy. Whenever you have more than just one term, only because, you have your quotient or difference quotient. Which is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So the first step is to find f of x plus h. Okay. So we know that f of x plus h, you're just going to replace every x with x plus h. So that's going to equal 2 times x plus h squared plus 3 times x plus h minus 1. Okay. Then we're going to FOIL this out, or expand it and then FOIL it out. So that becomes, I'll make a little side note here, that x plus h squared is x plus h times x plus h. It becomes x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. It's a little side note there. So you have 2 times x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus, you can distribute the 3 now, or you can wait to the next step. I'll just wait to the next step so I can do both at the same time. 3 times x plus h minus 1. Okay, so now if we go ahead and distribute the 2 and distribute the 3 to get rid of those parentheses, you'll have 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared. Distribute that 3 plus 3x plus 3h minus 1. Okay, so now we combine what we can combine, but it doesn't look like we can combine much, so we're there. So we found our expanded version of our f of x plus h. Okay. Now for our second step, since we know what our f of x is, they gave that to us at the beginning, we just plug both of them into the formula. Since f of x is 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, our f of x plus h minus f of x over h, move that up a little bit, will now become, since our f of x plus h is right here, it's 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 1 minus f of x. So I'm running out of room. I should have made that a lot smaller. I'll put that underneath it. So since I'm running out of space, I'll just put it right there so I have a little more room. So x plus h, 2x squared plus 4xh, 2h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 1 minus your f of x, so that's minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1 all over h. Okay, so now you just get rid of the parentheses and start canceling stuff out. So since this is positive, you can just drop the parentheses there. So 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared plus 3x plus 3h minus 1. Now for this one, you have to distribute the negative. So you have negative 2x squared. Yep, minus 3x plus 1. All over h. Okay. Now once you get to this step, things should start canceling out. You have your 2x squared minus 2x squared. You have plus 3x minus 3x. You have minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so once everything starts to cancel out, the only thing left should be terms with h's attached to them. Yep, so you have 4xh plus 2h squared plus 3h, and everything else canceled out all over h. Remember when I said if you couldn't cancel out that h at the bottom, you did something wrong? That's why, after you cancel out, everything up top has to have an h so you can factor it out. Okay, so if you factor an h out of each of those, you have 4x. Make sure that's up high enough. Plus 2h plus 3 all over h. Okay. Now once you get to the point you can cancel out that h, you know you did everything right. So those two cancel out. So you have 4x plus 2h plus 3. So that's your difference quotient. So when you have something like x squared, it's not too bad. But when you have something with something squared and something x and something else, and it gets a little bit long. But the steps are exactly the same. Okay, so any questions on this one? All right.
I have a question.
Sure.
So on number 1,
Mm-hmm.
when we did for the f of x plus h,
Mm-hmm.
so any term of f of x, we add h to it, like same as the equation, like f of x squared plus h, right?
Yep, so whatever, in this one, your f of x plus h was just replacing that x with x plus h and squaring it.
Okay.
And here, same thing, since you have 2x squared, f of x plus h is just 2 times x plus h squared.
Any value of x, we substitute it by x plus h.
Exactly. Yep. Every h is just replaced.
Yeah.
Oh, bring that up in case anyone's still writing. Okay. Anyone still? It looks like anyone still writing? Oh, I'll leave that up for a few more seconds. All right. Okay, so let's say if we have the example, find the difference quotient. For f of x equals negative 5x plus 7. All right, and I'll give you a few minutes to start on this one. are done. So we can go ahead and start on this one. So remember your difference quotient. It's f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So the first thing you have to do is find your f of x plus h. Okay, so we know that our f of x plus h will be negative 5 times x plus h plus 7. So if we distribute that negative 5, it's negative 5x minus 5h. Let me clean that 5 up a little bit. Plus 7. Okay, so that's our f of x plus h. Okay, so our second step, we already know what our f of x is. F of x is equal to negative 5x plus 7. So that means your f of x plus h minus f of x over h is equal to negative 5x minus 5h plus 7, since that's your f of x plus h, minus your f of x. So that's minus f of x plus 7. Remember, when you have more than one term,